Hi there, welcome to Decipher Technique. You are listening to Shubham Mittal. Today we will learn about the classification of discrete time signals. Here we will see three types of broad classification of signals. First is based on the energy or power, and the second is based on the periodicity of the signal, and the third one is based on the symmetry of the signal. So let us see the first classification, energy versus power signals. For this we will first define the energy. Energy of an infinite duration signal xn, that is a discrete time sequence, is defined as E is equal to n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn modulus square, the absolute square summed over all the values of the signal. For a finite duration signal defined over interval from minus n1 to n2, the signal will look like this. Let's plot a very general signal. It will be like this. So there will be some kind of values in between, and for the rest of the duration it will be 0. So this is meant by a finite duration signal, which is defined over the interval minus n1 to n2. The energy is defined as En is equal to summation over n is equal to minus n2 plus n. That should be minus n1 to plus n2 and xn mod square. So from these two equations we can conclude that the energy of an infinite duration signal is equal to the finite duration signal with limit n tends to infinity. Of course, if we stretch this signal to infinity, these are stretched, then the energy will be same as the energy corresponding to infinite duration signal. Now we will see what is the power of a signal. The average power of a signal xn is defined as P is equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 upon 2n plus 1, and from n is equal to minus n to n xn mod square. So this 2n plus 1 comes from the fact that if the signal duration is from minus n to plus n, then including the zeroth sample, the total number of samples will be 2n plus 1 samples. So we are averaging out the absolute squared summation over all the sample values, and we are letting the limit n tends to infinity. We are extending these values to the infinity on both sides. So from the definition of energy above, from the definition of energy of a finite duration signal and the definition of power for a signal xn, we can conclude that power is nothing but the average over all samples 1 upon 2n plus 1 and En. So P is equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 upon 2n plus 1 En. So this is the new definition of power. This is the relation between the energy of a finite duration signal and the power. Now, based on these two definitions, we can say that an energy signal is a signal whose energy is finite and hence zero power. If the signal will have finite energy, then this summation should lead to 0 because the denominator is 2n plus 1. Whenever we put n tends to infinity, then this term becomes 0 because ultimately En is a finite value. Let's say we are having En is equal to 5 units. Then P is equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 upon 2n plus 1 5 will ultimately give us 0. So it will have 0 power. So anyways, any signal having finite energy will have 0 power. So this is the definition of energy signal. For energy signal, the power of the signal is 0 and the energy is finite, that is less than infinity. The power signal, on the other hand, has finite non-zero power and infinite energy. This should be clear from the definition that if the energy will be infinite, only then we can compute the finite power of the signal. So it may have the finite power only if the energy is infinity, and hence we can say that the signal is a power signal. Now we will see the next classification, that is based on periodicity. A signal xn is said to be periodic with period n, where n is some positive number, n is greater than 0, if and only if xn plus n is equal to xn for all n. That is, the shift in the signal by the number of samples which is equal to the period of the signal will lead to another signal which is identical to the previous one. So the shift by a certain number of samples will leave the signal undisturbed. So such a signal is known as a periodic signal. The smallest value of n for which this equation is satisfied is said to be the fundamental period of xn. All other discrete time signals which don't satisfy equation 6 are said to be aperiodic. Now we will see the classification based on the symmetry of the signal. A signal defined like this, x minus n is equal to xn, is said to be even sequence. What we mean by this is, if we take the mirror image of the signal along the y-axis across the origin, then the signal should be the replica. We are having two replicas, we are having two copies of the same signal, one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. So such a signal is an even sequence. X minus n is equal to xn. What we mean by this is, that is x minus 1 here, this sample is equal to this sample x1. x0 is obviously x0, x minus 0, x plus 0 is all the same. So this should be equal. And x2 is equal to x minus 2. Likewise, we can see here. Now the odd sequences, its definition says x minus n is equal to minus xn. What we mean by this is, if we are having this sample value x1, then the x minus n, x minus 1 is the negative amplitude of the corresponding amplitude at this side. So this will be a antisymmetric across y-axis. This is the y-axis. So even sequence is a symmetric sequence and odd sequence is an antisymmetric sequence across the y-axis. Now one more observation we can see, any arbitrary signal can be expressed as a sum of even and odd signals. That is, xn is equal to x even plus x odd, where even parts and odd parts can be found using these two equations. Even part xen is equal to half xn plus x minus n, and odd part xon is given by half xn minus x minus n. So using these two equations, we can find the even part and odd part of a signal, and we can express any sequence as a composition of even parts and the odd parts. So that was all the classification we will need for the further course in discrete time signal processing. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned for another video. Thank you.